Ladies and gentlemen, baseball is around the corner, turning to episode 18 in the second season. This is episode 2. My name's Hill. That's Jason. How you doing today?
Doing well, Hello. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm excited to talk some baseball with you. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Major Leagues, World Baseball, and the works.
Oh, yeah, World Baseball Classic coming up a little later on this show, but baseball is almost here. World Baseball Classic's feeling awesome. Let's start talking about the New York Yankees. Isaiah Kiner left with a chip chap that he is going to play some center field. What are your thoughts on that?
So I see a few things. Number one, it's to increase his versatility and potentially his trade value. Okay, especially if guys like Calhoun or Rafael Ortega or any of those guys don't make the roster. He's already on the roster. So they'll have some kind of protection in case those guys don't make it past the spring, even though they're still here. But it would also increase his trade value. But I think most importantly, it's an admission by the team without saying it that he's lost the shortstop job, that it is Oswald Peraza is going to be the starting shortstop without them actually having to say it.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that note. I think that some people that stuff aren't looking at, you just brought up a brilliant point that it might not be that Falefa is going to go out and play center field for the Yankees come opening day. It's likely to bring up the trade value. And as you said, he probably has lost that shortstop job. On the note of trades, Gleyber Torres, we know the Yankees have an overloaded amount of infielders. What are your thoughts on a potential Gleyber Torres trade?
Well, I think it's at this point probably a little less likely than a IKF trade, but I think it would be more lucrative. The Yankees could get something back. But the fact is, at least in my opinion, is if the Yankees want to clear a path for Anthony Volpe, they have to move Torres and IKF. You got to move both of them because you still have DJ, you still have all these other guys in the infield, and if Volpe's your guy, you're gonna have to make some trades to open up some room, because you're not gonna bring him up here to sit him. I'd rather have him develop, keep getting better at AAA, and then once these moves are made, then bring him up. And again, I know there will probably be a little bit of a drop in offense with Gleyber Torres being traded, but that said, we don't know what we're going to get back for him, and we don't know if Anthony Volpe can recoup some of that value. They'll also have a full season of Oswaldo Cabrera and Oswald Peraza, so I don't think it would be that much of a drop off in offensive production having all those guys for mostly a full season. So, it's the only way I trade him is getting an impact player in return or an impact prospect in return. So it's got to be worth the while to trade him.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this trade involving Corbin Burns coming to the Yankees. That was a wild one because in my what I was thinking, Yankees are getting such a benefit in that package. I'm doing that in a heartbeat. I think the package included Will Warren, a couple of other right-handed pitchers. I can pull it up right now. But what were your thoughts on that trade?
It had Torres, I think Will Warren. I don't remember if it was Yoendris Gomez or.
Here, I'm pulling it up right now. It was Gleyber Torres, Will Warren, Richard Fitz, Roderick Arias, and Tyler Hardman.
I would do in a heartbeat. If you can get him without giving up Peraza or Volpe, I'm all over that trade. I'm all over it times 10. It's Corbin Burns. Yes.
Why
sir.
are the Brewers doing that? Why would they do that?
I don't even know. Who proposed that?
I saw it on Bleacher. I don't know. Why would it just doesn't make sense? I know Corbin Burns wants to get out of that organization. I know they haven't treated him as good as he was expecting them, but I don't know why the Brewers would do that trade.
Yeah, you're right too. I agree with you. If I'm the Brewers, I'm saying heck no. If I'm the Yankees, I'm saying heck yes. So because it's just too lopsided. And if their key player is Torres, and you're getting a bunch of these other guys. Will Warren's a highly regarded prospect. He's like the number 8. So, but if that's what they're actually willing to do that trade, I would jump all over that if I was Cashman. I really would.
100% agree. Let's transition into some World Baseball Classic. The atmosphere going on is ridiculous. What are your thoughts on how the first pool, how everything's turned out so far? As we're recording, the Puerto Rico Dominican Republic game is still going on. But what are your thoughts on just in general how the World Baseball Classic shaped out so far in 2023?
Some good performances. There's always some surprise players, right? Not many surprise teams. I'm not surprised Cuba's there in the semis, Team USA, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, like a lot of the usual suspects. But And I'm not surprised seeing Shohei Ohtani do what he did. But there's some other performances, like the kid Duke Hebert. We just talked about him, and that was signed by the Detroit Tigers. I mean, where did that come from? My goodness, right? And then the kid from Team Israel, right? What's his name?
Jacob Steinmetz, he was crazy.
Yes, some serious pitching performances here. And just to put this in perspective, here's some crazy OPS stats. Kyle Schwarber leads the whole tournament, 1.933 OPS. That is crazy. And then Edward Julian. If I butcher your names, guys, I apologize. So, and then Yuhei Nakamura, I think from Japan, was a catcher, 1.714. This is crazy OPS. Like batting average, Ji Hoon Choi, 667 batting average. I mean, my
100%.
goodness, it's crazy. Alexis Wilson, Tyler O'Neill, all over 600. It's really impressive. It's really impressive, and it's great to see the best against the world play against the best, around from the world. So it shows how global the sport is, and if we can keep expanding that way and getting players from like Japan or Korea or Team Israel, like getting them all over the place, I think it would be fantastic for the game of baseball.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's unreal. As it's not a game that benefits the U.S. as much. U.S. gets baseball all year round, but it's more the other places, Nicaragua,
Yep.
Israel, all the other places that don't get baseball all year round. So I want to touch on Jacob Steinmetz a little, and then we can get into just talking about some other news here regarding MLB. Jacob Steinmetz is 19 years old, the first Orthodox Jew, I believe, to pitch in Major League Baseball. It is an awesome story for any kid, especially any Jewish kid, but any kid in general that wants to become, just from what he did last night, striking out Manny Machado, striking out Jeremy Pena, striking out Gary Sanchez. It was so fun to watch. I was going into that game scared he was going to get absolutely destroyed, and he definitely impressed, pitched really well. He looked like he was locating his pitches well. His pitches were in the mid-90s. He's a tall, powerful right-hander. Obviously has some location stuff to work on 100%. There was one thing in the broadcast booth last night. There was one comparison that came from Jacob Steinmetz to Aroldis Chapman. I was ready to turn off the broadcast. They were saying the rising fastball was something similar to that, but I'm like, nah, nah.
He's part of this, that comparison is just nuts, okay? He's part of this young, exciting, dynamic Arizona Diamondbacks franchise. They're building something significant over there in the National League West, and I would be looking out for them and keeping them on the radar for the next couple of years because they're just going to keep adding to it. They just locked up Corbin Carroll, their stud outfielder. And, even though they traded Dalton Varsho, there's something going on over there. And it's exciting to see when you have kids like this working his way up the system. He's only 19. And again, it's a lot of promise over there, a lot of young talent. They're doing what the Braves are doing, building a young nucleus. They're going to be locking them up long term. And it's going to be exciting baseball in Arizona for a long time.
Very, very good point. Arizona is looking really, really sharp right now on the younger rise, just like the Chicago Cubs as well, and all the other teams that are getting up and out there. Team we're talking about, that's Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer's heading to Japan on a small contract. I don't know about you, but I personally think for Trevor Bauer's sake, this is a really solid deal.
I think so too. I mean, it's just, if there's a way that he can go somewhere and show that he can still be a productive player, not only transition back to the U.S., Japan is a great way to do it, and to kind of rebuild his reputation a little bit and do it in such a way where, integrity is a high premium on integrity in Japan baseball. So, and just doing things the right way. And it's a good place for him to be exposed to over the next year. So I think if any place could, resurrect his character and just rebuild his persona and hopefully turn him into a less of a troublemaker, Japan would be a good fit. So I agree with you. I think it's the right place to go. And rather than the potential carousel in the major leagues, I think Japan's a good spot. They have good guidance, good coaching, good fundamental baseball. And there's a lot of other major leaguers that play over there too that play well.
Yeah, definitely. He'll make a little money out there, definitely put out some good YouTube content that people enjoy watching, and then obviously showcase to major league teams what he can do, and maybe even make his way back out here in the major leagues in the upcoming years, whether that's 2024, 2025, or any years coming up upon that. But I think that is a wrap for episode 18 here on the Turning Two Podcast. I know we have a little bonus episode coming out later this week talking about some of our predictions, where I know I'm super excited to do because I have some really fun predictions to talk about. Jason, let's wrap it up.
Thank you guys and gals for coming on and joining the podcast. We got a lot more coming, and we're very excited to be here sharing it with you every week. And appreciate your support. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we would greatly appreciate it, especially if you enjoy the content, because we're going to keep delivering on it on a regular basis. So thank you all, and be on the lookout for some more great stuff.